What's up, y'all? I'm Señor Gigio, and many of you know, and many of you don't know, um, that I read tarot. It's something that right now I'm giving a lot of thanks for, to have had this gift in my life. This is my very first tarot deck. I bought this tarot deck in 2013. At the time, um, you know, I guess I didn't really expect too much from it. I just wanted to try something different. Um, Not to, I don't want to get too much into my life and the whole spectrum of my life, because that's too much. But I want to talk about the tarot, and I want to talk about where I was in my life, and how this came into play. So, 2013, I was making a lot of big changes in my life and the way that I was gonna maneuver and go through it. And I decided that I wanted to live spiritually, intentionally, and spiritually. I started making a lot of big changes in my life that year, like um, moving. That was a huge one. Also, I stopped drinking. I stopped smoking that year. Stopped smoking weed. Um, I went completely sober, and eventually I would learn fasting. Um, and I just really took the opportunity to try to really invite God into my life, and to have as real of a connection as possible with God, to where that would be the priority. And one thing about, I'm gonna use the word God, so don't be offended. We shouldn't be. I'll get into that too, but look, we shouldn't be offended by nothing, but by a lot of these things. Um, I'm gonna use the word God. That's how I'll refer to God. But you know, Creator. Okay, you got Creator, Great Spirit. Um, that's fine too for me. I'll say Creator. I'll say Great Spirit. I connect with those concepts. Um, Father God, Mother Goddess, but the idea is Creator. But I'll say God, just so you know where I'm coming from. So I wanted to have as real of a connection as possible, because that was a part in my life that was suffering and lacking and on the back burner. And one thing that I think is pretty remarkable, um, that is worth all of the noting, is that when you step to God, yes, you get to learn about God, you get to learn about Creator, but Creator teaches you about yourself. You get to learn things about yourself, and I think that is I think that's that's been the medicine, you know. Um, so I'll tell you, at the time, uh, you know, trying to manage and do things in a new way, figure out how to do things in a way that I'd never done it before. I had no clue how to do it, or even, any insight into where it could possibly go. So the tarot became a tool. One of the things I want to dispel. Uh, we got to turn everything on its head, and throw out a lot of things. One funny thing that I've heard said is like, "Oh, don't go buy a tarot deck for yourself. That's not the way to get it. you can only do it if somebody gifts it to you. Well, don't wait around for somebody to gift you something that you need, and that you might never get. Go and get it. Gift yourself. That's what I did. So I started with this deck. This is the same exact deck that I started with. I started reading for myself with this tarot deck. So it's very personal to me. And one thing I want to share, there's really a lot to teach about the cards and the practice. So understand this about the cards. The cards are not, yes, there's a power to the cards, but the power is already in your life. Understand that. So in your life, in your God-given life, in your non-accidental, purposeful life, there is communication, and there are omens, and there are signs, and there are messages meant for you to receive. And nowadays, in our society and the way everything has gotten to be, most people don't have a clue how to connect to that very special part of life. That used to be something in earlier times, in simple times, that we understood and connected to very naturally. It just was a part of life. To be able to see signs, to be able to see the omens, to be able to get the communication, to be able to notice when things were shifting, and to take note and to respond. We were more naturally in tune with this, and understand it's a natural phenomenon. We're made to be, as humans, as people on earth, this is a spiritual place. So we're physically, we are tuned to be able to have spiritual and psychic connections and experiences. It's a part of what we can do, and of what we can experience. But yeah, a lot of shit has happened, right? So fast forward, in these times, people don't got a clue. Most people don't got a clue. Majority of people don't. It just is what it is. And the ones who do got a clue at some point did not have a fucking clue, like me. So what the tarot is, it's not the happening. Your life is already happening. It's not the happening. What the tarot actually is a moment for you to sit down and to connect to the power of your life, and to see where it's going, to see where it's been, to see how things are working out. And if you're doing it the right way, it's constructive. Because understand that the energy of your God-given life, the very nature of your life, is God-given. That means it's purposeful. That means it's intentional. So there's an energy there naturally that wants you to win, that wants you to succeed, and that wants you to fulfill your destiny, that wants you to be the best version of yourself that you can be, that wants you to have love, that wants you to overcome obstacles, that wants you to face evil and turn that shit on its fucking head. That's the natural force in your life. And that is something that tarot can connect us to. So that's what I want to say right now about that. There's so much I can teach about it, so much I can share about it. but that's what it's been. Um, it's it's not for everybody. Nothing is for everybody. It's weird to some people, you know. But I guess I'm making this video. Really, I'm making it for myself because I have to stand up for myself, and I have to stand up for what I believe in, and I have to stand up for what I know to be true, and I have to speak to the beauty that I've been beholden to. So it's like this: when you know the truth, and you have had, when you know otherwise, it's your responsibility and your duty to stand up for it, and to speak up for it. So I'm speaking up for myself so that people understand, you know. You know, what tarot has taught me with this same exact deck that I started learning how to read for myself and started, expanding my relationship with God. This is not my relationship with God. It's not through this. This is just another accentuation to my already, to my connection with God, with the Most High, with Great Spirit. It's not solely through this. It's everything, okay? It's life. It's breathing, really, is what it is. Breathing is the real connection. This is just one part. It's just one little part. But it can be a great tool, and it can be it's a wonderful practice, and it's something that can help you grow if you're honest with it. Everything is about being honest and being truthful. So if you're honest with it and you're honest with yourself, you can grow. You can grow through it. And eventually I started reading for people with this deck, with this same deck. And I've been able to have a lot of beautiful experiences, a lot of powerful experiences. I've been able to make a life for myself on top of it. There's like, I've been able to make a life for myself through doing this. It's been mind-blowing and life-changing, heartwarming, and when you do this kind of work, you're subject to ridicule, you're subject to judgment, and you're subject to being demonized by society. Understand, our society does not value spirituality. Our society does not value creativity. If it did, things would look a lot different. We'd be in a much different state. So that's a part of the territory, and it's been complex for me in wanting to do this and doing this, and understanding myself through it, because it's not about what I think of myself. It's not about what I think of myself or about what I think of others. It's about doing what's right and doing what's true, hearing the calling and going for it. But especially as a rapper too, somebody who's been involved in hip hop, and even as a man too, because like tarot, I think you don't really see a lot of you don't see really a lot of guys doing like this kind of work, in this type of space. And I don't try to be anything I'm not. I don't try to impress people that I'm something that I'm not. I don't try to change the way that I talk or change the way that I look or carry myself. Um, I'm a Bay Area boy. I'm a California boy. I grew up in the 90s and in the 2000s. I like what I like. I'm hip hop. I'm all of it. Um, and I don't do this to be cool. I do it for different, there's other things you can do to be cool. Um, and even in making a life for myself in all of the things that I've chosen to do with my life, from music to tarot, it's a blessing that I've been able to make a life for myself, but it hasn't been about money. That's not why you do these kinds of things. It's, first off, it's not a smart idea. I mean, if you're thinking, if your idea of smart is doing something to make money, then no, it's not a smart idea. But you know, um, that's not the point. The point is that it's for the love, and that it's for the healing, and it's to bring uh to bring a connection through, because we don't get to have spiritual experiences with each other or with ourselves. There's a huge disconnect in society from from the divine. There's a huge disconnect to what's actually true. So, and that's been, and understand that that has been something that has been stolen from people, that has been stolen from us. So, because what you see in our society now, this living, this is not, it's not it wasn't a natural evolution. Understand that. That's not people's natural evolution. This is not our natural evolution. This is not the way that the natural human mind works and leads to these types of results. The natural way of the human, a human is it, a human, a human in their human element, untampered with, is about love, and is about peace, and is about and is about, yeah, it's really about love and peace, and appreciation. Appreciation for the earth, appreciation for the animals, for the skies, for the wind, and for each other. That's the truth. So there has been a direct, you know, there has been a direct, agenda to 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 get us out of that, and it's been like that. But that's been a long time in the works. It's not something that just started yesterday. It's not something that started a couple, like 50 years ago. It's been thousands of years in the works to get us out of our natural state of being, and our natural state of understanding, our natural state of oneness, our natural state of connection with the world, with ourselves. So, you know, that's what this is about to me. That's what I do. And I'm appreciative of it. So, very grateful. Understand that one thing I want to put out there with people is that I'm going to continue to do this, and I'm going to continue to step up and do this work in all of its facets, because like I said, it's not just about tarot. Tarot is one little part. I'm also attuned to 3 different Reiki modalities, so I understand things. I got insight into the psychic space. I have insight into the way things can kind of work on the other side, and how that translates into this side, because we're not just one-dimensional beings. We're not meant to be. And when you shut yourself off from the fact, I'm just gonna, people shut it off for all kinds of reasons, but I'm gonna suggest that shutting yourself off from that reality, you're limiting yourself, and you're limiting, the amount of joy and connection that you can have right now in real time. So it's not about money. Um, and I'll tell you something else that the tarot has taught me, because I've read for over 1,000 people, um, of all kinds of people. And the tool to reading tarot, the idea is that it's a practice, it's a spiritual practice, it's a psychic practice. And the best way to approach this art is by being in a state of neutrality and discernment. Because through the neutrality and the discernment, you can see the information, and you don't judge it, and you won't misread. So then you learn a lot of things. You learn a lot of things about people. You learn a lot of things about life, that what's right for you is not necessarily right for another, that you just really can't judge people. You really just can't judge people based on a lot of things. You can't judge people based on the color of their skin. You can't judge people based on whatever their genre is. You can't judge people based on their ethnicity or their religion. I've read tarot for Christians, for Muslims, for like seriously, like not just people who are just not hand me down Christians and Muslims, like people who are like, no, like they're Muslim, they're Christian. I've read tarot for atheists, for people who didn't believe, who just thought it was a magic trick and just thought that I was a swindler. I've read tarot for all kinds of people: gay, straight, transsexual, old, young. And you just can't judge people on their journeys. That's not what tarot is about. Tarot is not about judging people on their journeys. It's about helping people on their journeys so that they can, so that they can find their way to fulfilling their purpose, and it's just a small tool, and it's a window. It's a window into what's already there. So even if you don't use the tarot, this is just one medium. You start when you approach it, and you're being honest with it, and then it's going to be honest with you. Then you start getting a different psychic sense for different things. Then you start understanding that nothing is on accident, that there's communication in your life all the time. It's the birds, it's the bees, it's the cars driving by you, it's the first headline that you read, it's the phone call that you got, it's the text message, it's your dreams, it's always happening to and through. So that's the gift of it. And I read constructively, and I always try to encourage people to keep going with it, because this is not going to solve it. This is not going to solve your problems. So, I don't read to lie, to doom and gloom anybody, but I don't read to kiss nobody's butt either. It's not about winning the lotto. It's not about those things. Okay. But it's an insight and a tool, and the real work that you got to do is the work that you do on yourself. It's the work that you do in your life. It's the work that you do to hold yourself accountable. Nobody else can hold you accountable except you. You have to deal with you. You've got to deal with all of your parts. We are living spiritual beings. Your body is a temple. That's what it says in the Bible. Well, what does that mean? If your body is a temple, we're spiritual vessels. So the concept of chakras, each chakra is a room in the temple. You got to learn how to tune into yourself. You got to learn how to tune your energies. And you got to learn how to tune out the bullshit that's in your space. Don't let that bullshit in your temple. So I'm sharing this because it's my duty to share it, and because I have to speak up for myself, because I know the truth. I know the truth about this. There are a lot of bullshitters who do this kind of work. Whatever, there's a lot of bullshitters who do everything though. There's a charlatans in every field. There really is. There's charlatans in every freaking field, whatever it is. There's charlatan, there's janky plumbers. There's janky there's janky carpenters. There's janky mechanics. There's janky rappers. I'm not one of those either. So but I'm here to speak the truth about this and about what I do, and why I do it and what I'm going to continue to do. So I'm not a one-dimensional person. I'm not a and the other idea is it is with it too, just like as you see on this card. When you decide, this is the Fool, right? That's the box right there. When you decide to give your life to a spiritual cause and you're putting your life in God's hands, then God will create through your life. So it's not going to always be about what you want. You understand that? It's not always going to be about what you want or what you think is right for you. It's going to be about the place that God puts you, because God needs you there for whatever reason. If it's so that you can learn something and you can get humble, or if it's so that you can help other people, or for whatever reason. But to trust it the whole time, trust. And the practice is that even when it's tough and even when it's hard, you continue to give thanks, and you continue to stick to the script, play by the rules. Tarot doesn't teach lies. That's not what tarot is about. We don't teach lies over here. We're not talking about, we don't teach deception. We don't teach lies. I don't teach lies. I don't teach deception. That's not what it's about. So that's what I'm going to say for now. I could go in and in on this because I really know what I'm talking about. And I know things about this. Like I said, it's not just tarot. Tarot is one little piece of it. It's about insight into the spiritual world and the spiritual reality. The spiritual reality that is there, that is a part of every part of our lives in this society. Nothing is detached from it. At least in the sense that, even if it's spiritually dead, well, then that's worth commenting on. If something is spiritually dead, then it's that's worth commenting on, at least. So that's the reality. I'm Señor Gigio. Tap in with me for tarot. I offer tarot readings $75 for 1 hour, and $35 for 30 minutes, and $15 for 15 minutes. You can go to my website and you can book a reading with me there, or you could just reach out to me and message me. This is what I do. God bless y'all, and one love. Peace.